exciting show on things you didn't know expired and you need to know because this could save your life. So let's get right into it.
Ants.
Expired. Expired. Expired.
It's coming to holiday season. We're going to get into the drinking and the drinking. Well, how long does your liquor last is the first question. And by the way, it does expire. After you open up, a bottle of liquor, some black Jack Daniels or something, it does begin to lose its potency. Approximately by 8 months, it's lost most of its taste and good potency. So if you had liquor laying around a long time and you want your guests to be happy, you need to replace that liquor. I thought you thought I was going to talk about a thing, didn't you? Another thing that expires that you may not be aware of is batteries. Batteries have a maximum shelf life of 10 years or 5 years, depending upon your manufacturer. In fact, when you buy the batteries, you'll notice on the package it has 10-year life, 5-year life. Your cheaper batteries, 3 years. And they start to wear out from the time of manufacture, not from the time you use them. So you could take a battery that's brand new out of the box, and it could be dead because it's 10 years or 5 years past its manufacture date. So these are things you want to check because in an emergency, when you need that battery, or with the holiday season, when you want to take those batteries and put them in the toys, those batteries could be a lifeline from keeping you from having madness in the time that you're doing things. Now, a big one is smoke detectors. Did you know that smoke detectors have a maximum lifespan of 10 years? And of course, everybody knows that every 6 months you're supposed to replace the battery inside, even if it's electrical powered, because it does have a backup battery which you need to replace. And it's a good idea to test it every 6 months because that thing is going to save your life. I can't even tell you, my daughter is a firefighter, how many times they've come to the fire and the family's been lost because they didn't change the batteries, they didn't test the batteries. This holiday season, be safe, check your smoke detectors. If it's over 10 years, replace it. And in fact, if it's getting near to close to 10 years, in fact, buy an extra one, put it up just as a backup.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Your friendly neighborhood fire extinguisher. How many of you have checked it? Oh, I looked at it. It's got that little green thing and it says it's good. It must be good. But they do have an expiration date anyway. So you can look at it and say, oh, well, it's green, it must be good. But no, if it does have an expiration date, and one of the ways you can test a fire extinguisher, take it off and shake it. The fluid should be moving back and forth. If that thing is solid, most likely it's already lost its potency and won't work in a real fire. The other thing, of course, look at the expiration date, replace it as soon as possible. Your life could depend on this. Now, bike helmets, big thing, okay? And wear them, please do. I was a nurse in the emergency room, and I can't even tell you what we would call people who didn't wear helmets in motorcycles. Don't even want to go there. Anyway, bike helmets, the average lifespan is approximately 2 to 3 years. One thing, of course, the padding begins to wear out outside. But if you've had a spill or a crack, you may notice, you want to replace it because that thing is the one thing that's going to save you between an injury, a major injury, and a minor injury. Now, a lot of the new manufacturers are now putting a chemical inside of the mix. So if the helmet cracks, it's going to release a pungent odor that you're not going to be able to stand to force you to replace that helmet. That's a good thing. So be safe, wear them.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Hey, I bet you didn't know this one. I bet you didn't expect me to be talking about it either. Condoms. They have a maximum shelf life of 5 years. And that's from the time of manufacture, not from the time you bought them. So they do have a manufacturer's date on them. Also, the ones that have spermicide, they have a maximum life of 2 years from manufacturer, not from the time you bought them, dude. Remember what I'm talking to you about. So you want to check that expiration date, and make sure that you're using it within this time that it's allotted. Otherwise, you could have a surprise. And you know what kind of surprise you could have? That's right, if you didn't check, you're going to have a little loving little baby, and you may not have planned on that. But the thing we're going to talk about is car seats. Car seats do fail and have a manufacturer expiration date. That's right. And they're really designed to be used one time with one child. Once you use the child, the maximum amount of years that you're supposed to use it is actually the child's life, and that's it. You're not supposed to resell it and give it to somebody else, or selling them a used one. You're not supposed to take it and bring it to the next child and just keep reusing them, because the materials that they're made of, the plastic and the padding, begins to decompress, begins to wear, and becomes fragile and can crumble. And really, what's the whole point of the car seat unless it is to protect the child from an accident or something like that? So be safe. You pay attention to that expiration date. Now, I bet you didn't know this, but running shoes have a maximum lifespan of 250 miles. That's right, 250 miles. And basically what the reason is, because it has the special padding that is protecting your body from the impact. And over time, that's going to compress, it's going to wear out. So the effective use of that shoe for running is going to wear out by 250 miles. You may even want to replace it earlier because of the stink that's coming into it. Another thing that does expire are power extension strips, surge protector strips. They do wear out. And there are two ways that you can tell. One, they do usually have a manufacture date that tells you when they're supposed to be used by. Some, the less cheap ones, do not have it. Well, some of the ways you can tell, of course, some of them have the lights that tells you that they're protected. Okay. The next one is that they usually have a lifespan of 5 years. Not 10 years, 5 years. And the reason is the plugs that plug into them over time will begin to cut loose. So if you suddenly put a plug in and it falls out, don't use that power strip. Otherwise, you could have like the picture above, because it will begin to spark, it will begin to overheat. In fact, if you notice that your power strip is changing color, from that white to a gray color, that's a good sign it's getting hot and the plastic is starting to melt. Now, if you come into the room and you smell a fishy smell, or a kind of a stinky smell like that, you want to check those power strips right away. One of the things is when the plastic begins to overheat and melt, it leaves a fishy odor, and that fishy odor is a telltale sign that is failing and that you need to replace it. I can't even tell you, my daughter used to tell me stories where they would get a call and they smelled fish in the house. They didn't know what it was, and what it was basically is an outlet on the wall, or either one of the power strips was beginning to melt. The plastic or the insulation was beginning to melt because it was overloaded or it was failing, and that's how they knew that they had a problem even before a fire started. So if you come home and you haven't had fish and you smell fish, check it and replace the power strip that needs to be replaced. Now, everybody likes to go out, and we like to go to various parks, and we bring one of these with us, and the suntan lotion. We don't want to get burned, and those are great because you can charge them up either remotely or using the sun, and they're great to recharge your various devices. But they do have a lifespan, usually for anywhere from 2 to 5 years. Okay, depending upon the model and depending upon the things. Now, once you charge them up, you don't want to leave them out in the sun charging, otherwise they can overcharge. And one way you know they're overcharging is they begin to bulge, expand, and they become useless then. So you can figure that after about 2 to 5 years. The other thing is after they're charged, if you're charging them, don't lay them flat in the sun. Lay them on a 45-degree angle, because this will prevent excessive overheating of the unit, and that can also cause a premature failure. Now, everybody loves a sale. I can't even tell you how many people I see go in, they have a sale, buy one, get one free of suntan lotion, and they go, grab a whole bunch. The problem is they have an expiration date of 2 years. So, you buy one that's got 4 years old, they'll say, it smells okay, I can use it. But the 50 will no longer be SP50. It might be SP25, SP10. And what was the whole point of buying suntan lotion anyway? That prevents you from getting burnt. So let's go on to the next thing. Now, everybody likes to go out, and we like to go to various parks, and we bring one of these with us, and the suntan lotion. We don't want to get burned. And those are great because you can charge them up either remotely or using the sun, and they're great to recharge your various devices. But they do have a lifespan, usually for anywhere from 2 to 5 years. Okay, and depending upon the model and depending upon the things. Now, once you charge them up, you don't want to leave them out in the sun charging, otherwise they can overcharge. And one way you know they're overcharging is they begin to bulge, expand, and they become useless then. So you can figure that after about 2 to 5 years. The other thing is after they're charged, if you're charging them, don't lay them flat in the sun. Lay them on a 45-degree angle, because this will prevent excessive overheating of the unit, and that can also cause a premature failure. Now, everybody loves a sale. I can't even tell you how many people I see go in, they have a sale, buy one, get one free of suntan lotion, and they go, grab a whole bunch. The problem is they have an expiration date of 2 years. So, you buy one that's got 4 years old, they'll say, it smells okay, I can use it. But the SP50 will no longer be SP50, it might be SP25, SP10. And what was the whole point of buying suntan lotion anyway? That prevents you from getting burnt. So let's go on to the next thing. We're coming to the end. So I'm going to start landing the airplane. I'm going to mention a few more products. There are a lot of products, of course, that expire. Spices, okay, they have a maximum lifespan of 2 years before they start losing their potency. You want to make sure you store them not over the oven, where your heat source. You want to put them over somewhere it's going to be cool so they maintain their potency. Neosporin, again, it has an expiration date on the back. Okay, but once you open it, that expiration date is only 3 months. And one of the things, of course, you want to make sure that these products, that their usefulness when you try to get to use them. I mean, what good is using Neosporin if it's lost its potency? It's not going to prevent infection. Same thing with bug spray. Bug spray has a lifespan on the shelf of 2 years. But once you open it, it has a lifespan of 3. Hydrogen peroxide, same thing, has a lifespan on the shelf of 2 years. Once you open it, it only has a lifespan of a month. Mascara, 3 months. That's maximum. And the reason is not that the product is any good, but once you start contaminating, and putting it back on the surface, bacteria begins to grow. And if that bacteria gets in, you could get pink eye, you could lose an eye from infection. So you want to replace your mascara once every 3 months and don't do anything else. So anyway, Danger Will Robinson, obviously we want to make sure that you're safe. And by knowing that what things expire and the things that could wear out and cause you problems, like a condom wearing out, you want to really know these things. And that's why I put this content together for you. This is Grandpa sharing his knowledge and wisdom with you in various things such as product reviews, product tests. So if you have a product you want me to test, if you have an idea for a video that you'd like me to look into, let me know. Anyway, give us a comment. Did you like the content? Anyway, check out our other videos. Check out other product reviews. And we'll be back with more videos, more exciting stuff in the future. This is Grandpa Casey out. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.